So this is our game. Our game is like Pachinko, I believe is how you pronounce it. So the setup of the game is basically a pinball machine that has 3 gates that the ball can drop through, and those are controlled all at the same time, and one's only open of the 3 at one given time, and that's randomly selected. From there, it'll fall down through a lot of pins, and then it'll score in a positive zone or a negative zone, and there's 3 zones. From there, the score is then added up, and you have 5 balls to try and get your score positive or negative, and after that, your initial bet that you've made at the beginning of the game is multiplied by your ending score, and that's how much you either won or lost. So to begin the game, we click the start button, which is this white button. When we start, it first shows the screen, which is how much you're wanting to bet at the beginning of the game, and that's controlled by this pot with an analog input. And so it ranges from $100 to around $900. There's a problem with the scaling in the screens program compared to the Logic's output. But in the Logic program, it is set from $100 to $1,000. So we'll go with what looks to be $500 on this, and then you click the same start button again to activate it. But no matter what button I click right now, you can't break the code. I can click all those buttons and click this thing and nothing happens. When I start, I lied. Apparently you can't. I forgot. The limit switches here are only activated when the ball has gone through the entire game and the marble clicks it. So the only way that these limit switches can be pressed is when the marble is cycled through the entire game once. So that's why the score is 4 right now. But once the start button's been pressed and the ball is trying to be fed by this solenoid right here, and you'll notice every 5 seconds it turns off and waits 5 seconds, and it'll turn back on for 5 seconds. This is to make sure that the ball is fed into the shooting area, and it's waiting for this blue sensor to be triggered in order to stop that. So now that it's on, I'll tap this and it turns off immediately. So that's saying, okay, the ball's been fed. Now it's waiting for one of these limit switches to be pressed. The first one's going to be zone 1, and it's going to be a negative, so the screen will go down by 1 when I click the switch. So now the score's 3, it was 4, and this is on. It's trying to feed another ball. So then I'm going to wait for it to turn on, and immediately the ball's sent, turns off, and it's waiting for another limit switch. It should be -2. And the switch also turned on, but now the score is 1 instead of 3. Tap it again. Now that has been fed, and the last 2 limit switches are broken, like mechanically broken. So I'll just click +1. Now the score's back to 2. And this guy's trying to feed again, so I'll tap that, and it's depowered. Now it's waiting for another limit switch press, so I'll click -1. Now we're back to 1. And it's trying to feed again, and I'll touch the, I believe it's a inductance sensor again. It was already deactivated. So now we have 0 balls remaining on the screen, and when the last ball would roll over the limit switch, it'll go to the end screen. And so now it shows you how much money you have or have won. So in this case, the person won $830, and the game will show the screen for 20 seconds and then reset itself and show the display screen at the beginning. And so we can see that here very shortly. Another thing, so if you want to capture this, so there's animated text that scrolls across the screen. And that will be what is the default screen until somebody hits the start button. I forgot to mention that this motor here is what would control a wheel that takes that controls where the ball is going to fall. So basically there's a wheel that spins around, and the ball falls into this wheel, and the wheel keeps spinning until one of these 3 gates were open. And so that's really just to randomize where the ball falls. through what zone. After that, this solenoid here, we don't know why this is latching, but the power has to be undone on this input to get the solenoid to delatch, even with a flyback diode. But that would reset all the balls. So the balls are held at the end of the game, or during the game, and at the end it activates and resets all the balls, so you can not only visually see on the scoreboard, but physically see with the marbles how many you have left. And that's our entire game.